All right. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. These lineups are old, and I apologize for that. I had to run very quickly. All right, and let's go ahead and just say this: both games, this really hasn't been much of a. Both teams not really great of a start. We are still getting set up, and I apologize for. There's not much I can say. Apologize. But we are up and running, so that's good to know. So, as you see, their only other game really happening right now is Luton versus Chelsea and Luton. And yes, oh yes, they're definitely, and yes, the I assure you, they are definitely hoping for an upset. After all, all right, and we have a couple live viewers already. Thank you for joining. And yes, they've said that, of course, it will be away at West Ham. Yeah, that's not going to be an issue. So, but I do apologize. Like I said, we're kind of a little slow on the startup, but we are getting there as quickly as we can. Nice thing is that we definitely, this should be fun. And yes, they're talking about right now that 1-1 draw that Wimbledon had against Newport. They did win 5-4 on penalties. And I will go ahead and say it does not matter the size. I mean, after all, one goal makes a huge difference. And one thing that Fulham is going to have to do in this game, more than anything else, is that they have to score 2 goals. They cannot let this game go to penalties. We saw what happened last year with Manchester United versus Grimsby Town, and that is definitely we definitely don't need lightning to strike twice on that one. And of course, they're showing the cottage. They're showing the Wimbledon fans. They are excited for this one, and the last thing they want to do is, they're gonna pretend like Fulham is MK Dons. Let's just call it what it is. They're definitely gonna pretend like they're MK Dons. And we will first get the Wimbledon lineup up and going as the teams are coming on to the field goal. And we're not even gonna go. And this is the Cess battle: Ryan Sessegnon, Steven Sessegnon. And I apologize. Like I said, if it seems like I'm being really quiet, it's not. It's because I just got up. I didn't get a chance to put in the lineup yet, and that's what I'm trying to update really, really quickly. Oh yeah, I forgot they had. Oh, they forgot they had Ollie Harrison. This will be interesting. He's a defensive midfielder, but it'll be interesting to see him, as that's actually the only person. Oh, Callum. Okay. And yes, Lecomte, I'm going to go ahead and say that he's in goal. All right, they're all in there. And after all, this, I mean, for Wimbledon, yeah, they got, why not? Go up. You got no reason to pull off the upset, bring everyone out. And of course, Mr. Reed is in this one, no surprise there. And yes, they're talking about, of course, it's the twins. And yes, both of them are starting with Steven on Wimbledon's side and Ryan Sessegnon on Fulham's side. So their lineup is now Wimbledon's lineup is now up and going. Harrison Reed is the one with the armband this today. Oh yeah, there's definitely insurance on the bench. No one is gonna. Yes, King, Palacios, and Garcia. They're all on the bench for this one. And of course, I know they're calling it one thing, but people who know me, they know exactly what we're calling this. It will be the EFL Cup because that's what it actually is. Emil Smith Rowe is in here. And I'm not even happy about hearing that West Sam. And we hopefully will not have a penalty because there is no run back on this one. Yeah, one of the key things is definitely to stay focused, stay calm in those first 5 minutes of the game. Because I'm expecting Wimbledon to come out and really, really, really go hard on this. And of course, and finally, and Joaquin Anderson will be back. Will be back in the lineup normally for their next game, but was serving a red card, and that's why he could not appear in the Chelsea game. So hopefully, he is going to give some much needed support in the back. For Joao, need this. All right. We're expecting, and hopefully this will, kickstart something with Smith Rowe. This is gonna be first time for a lot of Fulham fans to actually see Luke in action, unless you were a big fan of Canada, which was not his fault. They really did have a bad break in that game, and I'm not trying to make a pun either. It just was not. It, let's just say it wasn't his fault. He actually performed pretty well. Hopefully, maybe we can actually see something out of Oscar Bob, so that maybe I will stop talking, junk about him. That would be nice. That would be nice for Oscar Bob to be effective. And we will definitely keep that in mind moving forward. We have 6 viewers in the chat. I hope you guys are having fun. This one has just got started. And of course, there's no score in the Luton Chelsea game. And as much as I like for Fulham to try to get the long ball, get up ahead, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Good thing is that we're already about to approach the 4th minute and there is no score yet. I'm expecting a lot of long ball play from Wimbledon, and just unfortunately, like we saw in the Chelsea game, maybe one or two errant passes to the defenders from the goalkeeper. May not leave this to be the case. But yeah, I think wait, did I make sure everything is updated lineup wise? Yeah, I think I messed up with the There we go. Sorry, had to update numbers. But Joaquin Anderson, it's good. I mean, it is good to see him back in the lineup. I mean, if nothing else, just to get some minutes in. Especially especially if nothing else, Oscar Bob, and he loses the ball. And just like that, Fulham is on the back foot. They're gonna really have to be aggressive, which is something that Fulham is not known for doing. If nothing else, I think the really, really big thing here is just that you can't underestimate a really, really long errant pass, that sales pass, past Muniz. Muniz, it's kind of, I'm still trying to get used to that. He has his hair and corn rolls. I mean, and hopefully that doesn't affect his speed too much, because that's been one of his other critiques, is that he's just too slow. Continuing on, again, hopefully people can hear me just fine. I'm not overbearing, but we're about we're in the 6th minute. We really got to. I mean, Wilmington is definitely staying focused. They're okay playing. They're okay playing defensively. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just waiting for Fulham one or two errant passes to really, really take advantage of. Oscar Bob, it's being forced back. Like, they're slowly advancing, but Fulham is just, they seem to be content, just trying to fill out Wimbledon. Arias Reed Gets it out to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob. Luckily, that's not Sessignon, and Muniz tried to get to it, but no luck there. And that wasn't Oscar Bob. That was, I believe, that was looking at it. That was Kevin. And then there was literally Sessignon tried to get it. Emil Smith Rowe was in the middle. After all, Muniz needs to have something going for him. And the thing is, the commentators, until something happens, they're just going to talk about the coach's laurels, Fulham's previous laurels. They've already talked about the Chelsea game, and helped with the whole like we're not getting relegated or that we shouldn't be in the relegation conversation, even though we probably are. Towards the center, easily taken care of by the other Sessegnon. So I'm gonna, for the sake of making this easy, we're gonna say Steven for Steven Sessegnon, Ryan for Ryan Sessegnon. And this is not and right now I will go ahead and say this is not a sold out house for this one, especially since this is a Thursday night. And of course, now they're focusing on the whole rebirth. And yes, that's one thing I think we're all scared of as Fulham fans is if they look at Fulham and then they treat us like MK Dons. Oh, and I should go ahead and say this because with round two, there is no VAR. And Oscar Bob's just kind of driving with them a little bit. And I'm just, for the most part, checking the audio, make sure everything's okay there. To Muniz trying to, nope, he gets, he goes down. Part, checking the audio. Yeah, he gets taken out. They're not calling a flag on that. Now Wimbledon on the attack. Sessegnon, Steven Sessegnon. And for Wimbledon, this is the furthest they've been up the field. All of them are actually, with the exception. Oh, sorry, too much volume there. Too much volume there. We will make make an adjustment on that. Smith goes center. There were people there. It went straight to Lacombe. That was Sasu's opportunity. And as far as Muniz's tackle, he was going for the ball. That should have been a free kick at the most, but no card or anything along that nature. Tete now with the ball, trying to kind of figure out. Unfortunately, you have to go back to Anderson. Anderson kicking it over to Luke. Luke. No, it is not your night. I think that is what we're going to see is if Fulham is not able to get 2 or 3 goals in this game and it goes to penalties, then again, we got to talk about, the end of this transfer window. Granted, in the Chelsea Luton game, there still is no score, and they're almost at the end of the first half in that one. Right now, Kevin kicking it back to Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon. Back to Luke. Back to Anderson. Again, they're just trying to hold on to the ball. Tete to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob. Get to it. Smith Rowe. It's kicking it back to Anderson. It's Fulham. I'm glad that they have possession, and that's one thing you never have to worry about with a Fulham game is just keep maintaining possession when they have the power to maintain possession. Sessegnon back to Kevin. Ryan Sessegnon on the ball, onside, tries to get in the middle towards Muniz. No one there, but Muniz has a chance at it. Eders, Fougerolles tried. Fougerolles just. Sad thing is, that's the best opportunity in the entire game so far. And yes, Fougerolles is not someone who has ever scored for Fulham, not even Academy. It's just, he gets to it, lets it drop. But yeah, Fougerolles, no, that's not his thing. Catch, he tries to shoot off his off the volley. Nothing happening there. Wimbledon has the ball. Wimbledon, keeper's pop, loft, and yeah, just like that. Look, man, this is why we're saying watch the long pass. Easily, Sessegnon is the one. Ryan Sessegnon, that's gonna be hard. He gets to it, sails it out, and now Wimbledon with the first opportunity with the first corner of the game. Harrison is on loan from Chelsea. Takes the corner, not really dealt with well, but Wimbledon still with position. Back there. Shot. The volley goes straight to the keeper, which means Wimbledon has the first shot on goal. The Bourgeois tried to find Kevin, nothing going, and Wimbledon still with possession. Wimbledon still with possession. Miles gets it out to Steven Seddon. Seddon with the ball. Seddon kicks it back out. Miles inside, and it's going to be another corner as the Bourgeois has to kick it out. Great job by Bourgeois just to get. I mean, granted, it set up the volley for the first shot on goal, and now another corner for Wimbledon. And Steve Seddon with the corner. Into the box. And it just comes out all the way back to Steven Sessegnon. Now Wimbledon trying to make their way into the box. The Bourgeois doing a great job defensively. I think basically the cross goes into the box. No one's there. It's going to be a goal kick for Fulham, and hopefully this means that they can get some possession back and alleviate some of this pressure. And I don't think anyone's going to argue with how AFC Wimbledon has come out in this game. And yes, they need to up the Fulham, definitely. But right now, they have not been moving up the ball. At least up the Fulham means moving up forwards on the pitch towards the goal. Fulham, no shots on goal. Nah, at least no shots on frame. Maybe I should say that. And I realize I need to take off my watch, so I apologize. Trying to get Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe in the box. Smith Rowe. It gets deflected for a corner. And finally, Fulham has something to work with. I mean, good long pass, Smith Rowe, but there is like no one there in support. Great defensive work. And that was Steve Seddon. And now Fulham will get their first corner opportunity of the match. And I believe Kevin will be the corner taker on this. This is usually who I imagine when I see corners in this situation. But that's only because Harrison Reed wasn't on the pitch. So now, Reed with the corner. The ref at waiting. Bad corner. And it's going to be a second chance for Fulham. It just kind of skidded. I think it was. I think it was Miles. I think Miles was the one who got to that. Fulham second corner. Hopefully, Reed can get a little bit of air on this. Much better. They're trying to say Tete had that, but I thought it was actually a Wimbledon player. I'm gonna look at the replay on this. I don't know. I actually don't know on that one. They're gonna call it on. They're gonna say Tete, and it's gonna be a free kick, but I mean a goal kick. But I'm not sure on that one. Hopefully, like again, hopefully everyone can hear me okay. No, it is not. Being well dressed does not matter. Scott Parker was very well dressed for Fulham, and that didn't matter. Instead, he's hanging out at Burnley. And Defoe back to Muniz. Muniz is not up front, which you would want him to be if he is your main striker. But instead, they get it just sails out, and it's going to be a throw-in. No, it does not sting. This is one of those things where I didn't pick a winner in this one. That's the beauty of the cup. Everyone talks about is you can see things like this. No, it's. I mean, again, this is Jonas Nebraska. We're watching this, and I'm hoping Muniz just not quick enough. Easily, Andy's easily able to deal with it for Wimbledon. And they're talking about the Chelsea match they played where James Tilley scored for Wimbledon. But ball's coming. I think. Oh, I was gonna say Lacombe was gonna let it go out, but he doesn't. Instead, he's gonna he's gonna give it off to Shea Charles, who we really haven't had much to say. He was somewhat active in the game against Chelsea, but he really didn't get to do anything on the pitch. So it's still kind of the jury's still out on that one. Asailto Sessignon. No, that's Kevin. Kevin was trying to go in with it, but it's easily dealt with by Wimbledon, and Wimbledon gets it out of danger. For now, Muniz was trying to wrestle. Nothing's happening. His shin guard comes out. No, that was his shoe. I thought it was his shin guard. No, there's no. And Muniz is going to have to be aggressive. Muniz cannot be whining, or else that's illegally. Tete trying to keep it from going out. He's able to. He was trying to find Kevin. Set Nikolai into the box and woo! Callum Maycock. I mentioned that. I mentioned that it was interesting to see. That was his. That was a great chance. This should be 1-0 Wimbledon. Keeper was beat. It just was. Yeah, Fougerois gets beat, and it's stuff like that is why I couldn't pick Fulham to win this game. But at the same time, it's like you have to score 2 goals, and you can't let this thing go to penalties. But yeah, they have definitely been the more dangerous team so far as we are 22 minutes into this game. There's no score. Same thing with Luton and Chelsea as they've reached halftime. Once again, for those who are joining late, my name is Jonas Brasco. This is Up the Fulham, stream devoted to giving watch-alongs and reactions to all Fulham FC games, if possible. Pass Harrison Reed. Reed able to get it back. Takes it out to Charles. Charles looking for Muniz in the center. Muniz nothing to do with. Shot by Emil Smith Rowe, and it's wide left and off the advertised board. It's not about technique. Muniz, it goes off the back of his head. Smith Rowe shoots. It almost actually comes off of. Let me see. Did I? Yeah, that was Dan Sweeney. I think I may have made a mistake. Yes, I did. And apologize, I made a slight mistake with Dan Sweeney. He is number 26. And finally, there's a foul. Of course, it's on Harrison against Harrison Reed. No, it was sorry, it was Miles against Harrison Reed. Correction. And once again, thanks for all the people who are watching. For those in the United States, this is unfortunately on Paramount behind a paywall, but it is also being streamed on Pluto TV. And Harrison Reed is definitely having to take over because he is the leader on this team. But it is going to unfortunately be a more. It's very rare to see him up the pitch like this. Granted, that Liverpool game back in January, Oscar Bob shifted back to Charles. Charles back to Harrison Reed, and they literally the crowd was asking him to shoot. Kicks it back out to Kenny Tente, Smith Rowe, Tete. Muniz is nowhere really in the box. They're having to shift it back out. Lefojua back to Reed. Sessegnon trying to go inside. Sessegnon with the cross attempt, but it's going to go out for a throw. And it does go off the Wimbledon defender. Defoujua. And good job by Wimbledon. It's like Fulham, yes, they're passing the ball around. They're getting possession, but they're really not getting a lot in regards to just getting the ball in. One shot on target, but 76% of possession by Fulham, but no goals. That's what it comes down to. No goals. Fulham has 5 shots. But the weird thing is like where they're going. But hey, keep shooting, keep shooting, and maybe one of them will go in. And of course, there are a couple of academy players in this. Macaulay Zeppa, Chibuzo Nwoko, and Bradley Slade. So those are all on the bench. We're not sure if we're going to get to see them, but why the heck not? Next game, of course, is Sunday, Sunderland, and of course the Stadium of Light. But if there are any Wimbledon fans, thank you for watching. but Anderson gets it back to Efojoa. Sessegnon to Harrison Reed. Harrison Reed's going to go in the middle to Charles. Yeah, no one. Yeah, the possession. No one's caring about. Bob gets out to Tete. Tete front back to Bob. Smith Furrow was ready, but didn't happen. Sessegnon was trying to go up, but it easily intercepted, and it will be for a Fulham throw. Tete, Oscar Bob. Bob's able to get past his defender. Muniz is in the middle. Bob going into the box, kicks it back to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe cross, and it is dealt with by Steven Sessegnon. Hola. I mean, great job, Smith Rowe, and it's easily developed by the other Sessegnon twin, Steven Sessegnon, and Fulham is going to get their third corner of the game. Ref is having some words with the item. It's going to be Oscar Bob with the corner. I don't think I've actually seen him actually take a corner. It's towards the back. Ref. I mean, sorry, not ref. But Nathan Bishop, great punch. He got something on it, and it will be another corner. Oscar Bob does actually, I feel weird saying this. Towards the back, Andresen was there waiting, but it's punched by Bishop just before he gets there. And now Harrison Reed, another punch. Back to Kevin. Okay, they're debating on that. Boot by Sessegnon, cross towards the corner to Forgeois, and it's going to go out for a Fulham throw. Oscar Bob throws it in pretty quickly. Goes back to Anderson. Anderson, the cross, was trying to get it to Muniz. Nothing happening there. Anderson gets it back to Tete. Fulham still with that possession. Everyone who is watching, how's he doing? We got about 15 in here, which is one of the higher ones, considering this is only the second game of the season. And right now they're focusing a little bit on Sasu. Into the box. Muniz, no one there. Muniz, shot! And then it just sails. And Sweeney with the deflection and Fulham. Another corner. Much better possession as of late. But yeah, Smith Rowe finds Muniz, but well defended by Sweeney. And I think it's okay. It's going to be Harrison Reed for the corner this time. We just hit the 31-minute mark. No score. Reed. And easily dealt with. Back to Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon. And it just sips through all the way to the end. And it's going to be a goal kick for Wimbledon. Says, okay, it's not that. It goes off of Kenny Tete. And you're just looking off the Fulham bench. And they're mentioning, just like in the Chelsea game, they have more possession. And this is you expect this for Fulham. You expect possession. You don't expect progression. And it sounds like I got some rain outside. Getting ready to happen. And we're not worried about goalkeeping right now. Second half has kicked off in the game against for Chelsea and Luton. Luton and Chelsea no score. They're now in the 47th minute. And these are the only two games for today because of Fulham and Chelsea's match on Monday. Teddy Tete with the ball. Katie Tete with a shot. But it is deflected for a corner. It was some great movement by Kenny Tete. But yeah, Kenny Tete, an off. I mean, that's an off-putting shot that he tried to curl in. Oscar Bob, corner, back post, and it's gonna be a throw for Fulham. Wimbledon has this has been a great defensive game for them so far. Regardless of all the possession, they've had some great opportunities and probably the best shot on goal so far. Oscar Bob going in, finds Muniz. Muniz gets tripped, and it just Bob grabbed it back, but still nothing. Anderson trying to chase it down. Lasasu right there, trying to make something happen, but the Faujois has it, gets it up to Shea Charles. And now, of course, the commentary team is talking about Wimbledon holding on, taking this to halftime 0-0. That puts them in a really good position. But yes, the longer this game has no score, the more likely your underguards are going in, and it just the cross sails past Tete, and it's going to be a goal kick for Wimbledon. And this would really, really be nice if that was possible. And just like this, Wimbledon has it, waiting for some James Tilley, hoping for some support. Cross into the box, but there's not enough shirts there. Charles sails it, and it's going to be a throw in for Wimbledon. And it looks like James Tilley is going to throw this in. Yeah, short throw. Cross, deflected, and it's going to give Wimbledon a corner. And that's probably going to be a good plan for Wimbledon right now. It's just if you're not able to get the shot off, just try to get a corner. Get Fulham on those set pieces. They've not been the Fulham has not been the greatest as far as dealing with set pieces in the past. Steve Seddon with the corner. We'll see what happens here. Goes very far back, and it's too deep, and it's gonna be a goal kick for Fulham. And Chelsea gets one on the board against Luton. And hopefully, let's see who they give that to. Danny Welbeck scores for Chelsea. Bob kicks it out to Shea Charles. We're not going to dwell too much on that, folks. Well, yes, Chelsea has broken that deadlock. Fulham still plenty of possession. The Foujois passes it back to Anderson. Anderson Gives it to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob still holding. Where now goes back to the Fulham end. All the way back to Lacombe. Okay, sorry. Just had to make sure that you couldn't hear this because hear the game itself. Because granted, I will get. They will meet this stream, and I don't like it. Tete cross, very. All right, we got to say it. Sorry, I had to wait. I had to wait, and I think they're gonna give that to Emil Smith Rowe. I thought it was overhit too, but Fulham looks like they got one on the board. And they're saying it's a glancing header. It was a glancing header. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Tete. Oh, okay. That was okay. I see what happened there. So it's whooped by Tete. Sessegnon. I think they're saying Sessegnon, or it comes off maybe James Tilley. The cross, yeah, it comes off Tilly's, and then just Smith Rowe rushes in, gets ahead on it. It's 1-0 Fulham. And yeah, I'll hit this. Yep, see, on the screen. Just go all the way. Much, much needed. And just like that, it's 1-0, 39th minute. And that will be officially, I'm going to be upset if I lose power. Let's not jinx that, folks. And there we are. Emil Smith Rowe, 37th minute, Fulham 1. Wimbledon, no score. Come on, I need a Fulham win. Well, we'll see if Fulham can get at least 2. Getting 2 makes it, you want to have you need some sort of leniency on this one. You want a cushion. You want 2 goals, 3 would be better. 2 is nice, 3 is better. All right. Once again, this is Jonas Brasco at the Fulham. I would expect to see quite a few changes. Oscar Bob making his way in. Steve Sessegnon's on him. Tries to pass it into Harrison Reed, but it's well watched and dealt with by Wimbledon. Now long ball, trying to find Sasu, but that does not happen. And so we're getting slow down. And I think, and the commentators are saying something very interesting about Oscar Bob, which maybe that's the thing, is that he's so predictable going off that left side. Ooh, that was a nice crack. Folks, if anything does happen, and if I do lose power, I will try my best to get back up as soon as I can. If not, I'm glad to at least been with you to see the first part. Kevin with some nice boot inside the cross. Trying to get to Kenny Tete. But Sessegnon Steven Sessegnon does get to it, and it will be a corner for Fulham. Believe me, I love for one more goal too. But yeah, good job with Kevin taking on two defenders. But you can't. You can be fancy, but not if you can't make something happen out of it. Corner dealt with goes back as far as Kevin. Kevin to the corner finds Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob, we know he's gonna actually find works with his right. Tete over with the cross header. Muniz. Wait, are they? They're waiting. They're waiting. Don't you dare say that's offside. Tete, great job. Tete, Muniz. Tete's gonna get an assist. And yeah, Dom gets burnt on that. But a great header from Muniz. It's one of those things you just need for something like that to happen. And yes, that is another goal for Fulham. And now, finally, the staff for the AFL Cup has given the goal. And could Fulham perhaps get a third before halftime? I don't know about that, but I will happily still take. Okay, foul. Yeah, that's a foul. There's no problem with that. It says, "Thank you. You are the best." Not a problem. Like I said, it's keeping up. Hopefully, Fulham will get a third one. I mean, because after all, you what you want to do if you are Wimbledon to get one back before half, it's game on. Definitely power for their defending. They held out as long as they could, and I'm not saying that Fulham should run up the score, but I really do need them to get some confidence. You need this, especially since you are going away to Sunderland on Sunday. Any type of momentum, good vibes, whatever you wish to call it, you do need that. Oscar Bob was trying to find Smith Rowe. A late challenge by Kenny Tete. And it is just going to be a minute of stoppage time. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. And again, just 1 minute of stoppage time. Wimbledon does have the ball in their half, and Lacombe has to come up just to make sure nothing happens. Ryan Sessegnon gonna give it to Kevin. Kevin's just gonna hold on, kick it back, and Fulham knows that the halftime whistle has blown. And And finally, just to start this off, Fulham with a 2-0 lead going into halftime. Emil Smith Rowe in the 37th minute with a lovely running header, and then Muniz with a great cross header, and I believe they're going to give the assist to Kenny Tete, or at least that they should. And I messed up there, so now it is 2. Not much else. I mean, there's no critiques on that. That was just a good, that's a good first half. Like, I know the season is young, but easily best first half I've seen in a long time for Fulham. And let me just verify. I want to verify that they're going to give that to Tete. And they did, yes. The first goal they're going to they gave the assist to Ryan Sessegnon. Second goal they're giving it to Kenny Tete. And for Fulham, again, this is very rare to have a game like this. Now, granted, I know it's against a League One side, but this is what's supposed to happen. Like, not dissing Lee Wong by any means, but you're supposed to have possession. You're supposed to have shots on goal. I mean, there's nothing much I can say. I mean, Wimbledon was definitely the best team in the beginning of the game, and I don't think anyone's going to make the argument on that. But finally, and what really comes out about pressure: 7 corners compared to 3. I mean, and Wimbledon has, again, definitely more aggressive, keeping things offsides. The keepers have been forced to make one save each. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see academy players. I'm not come in. I don't want that to be the case. And the reason I wanted a third was not that I didn't believe in Fulham, but just that you don't you don't want to pretend like it's in the bag, because it is not. If you're a Fulham fan, you already know this game is not in the bag. Okay? This is not dissing or anything. It's just until the final whistle happens, this game is not in the bag for Fulham. So I'm going to take a quick break. We got 45 more minutes, and I'm hoping that they can hold on for it. I will see you all in about 10 minutes. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. Score at halftime: Fulham 2, AFC Wimbledon 0. This is the second round of the EFL Cup. Winner takes on West Ham at London Stadium. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. All right, I was just making sure I was not muted. So, before the second half begins, let's just do a really, really quick rundown of what is needed moving forward. Because it's the score 2 goals thing, I'm really happy about that, but there's still much more, there's still work to be done. And this game is not by any means over with. So, first and foremost, is again, stay calm the first 5 minutes. Especially now that we're getting into that second half, you know they're going to be aggressive. You know that if they get one more back, it really is game on. And they're going to take it as game on that one. Sorry, I had to check something. Again, I'm watching the weather in my area. And, and even still, even with everything that's happened, you absolutely cannot focus on West Ham right now. I get that it's important. It's easy to get, overconfident, thinking, okay, yay, we got this. No, this is Fulham. You do not got this. Especially since you have to beware the long pass. I would expect them to go over the top more and more. Macomb almost got beat by Maycock in the first half. So we know that can happen. Still need 2 goals. It's not Fulham now. It's now Wimbledon. So that still has to happen. You need to keep them from getting 2 goals because then this gets to that third point. Not third, but this fifth and final point. Don't let the game go to penalties. There's no Raul Jimenez anymore. There's no 100% penalty kick taker now. You cannot let this game go to penalties. That's it. Do not let the game go to penalties. And then maybe we can still hold on for this. Second half still hasn't quite started yet, but it will begin. Once again, this is John Spraska with Up the Fulham. Yep. Oh, it is happening finally. We'll see if there's any substitutions. It looks like they may have one. And we are back. Fulham is going to make a substitution to start the second half. London Calling is playing right now. Oscar Bob is making way for Macaulay Zeppa. Second half is up and going. And Wimbledon can find something special over the next 45. The thing is not for them to find something special. And just for Macaulay Zeppa, he did. Let's see. Because he was on. Okay, I see. Because he was on. But because this is an academy, he did score on the 21st in their 4-3 win over the Burnley under 23s. So it's kind of our first look at an academy player. Chelsea still holding on to their 1-0 lead over Luton. In Wimbledon, like I said, you got to be careful definitely in these first 5 minutes. One goal will definitely could change the game for both teams. If Fulham goes up 3-0, then you should expect some changes from Wimbledon very, very early. And for Fulham, you want that third goal. You want to kill. You want them to be forced to make some changes and make some mistakes. Ryan Sessegnon throws it into Defojoa. Defojoa is going to get it back out to Kenny Tete, but it is intercepted. But then there is a whistle. And it's going to be a yellow card. And he's going to get the first yellow of this game. Yeah, and it's just that Hippolyte was getting past. Tete just made the foul. It's a pro foul, but that would be one of the last things you want to see, where you want to say, hey, what would be a Fulhamish thing to happen? Fulham get a red card. But instead, it's going to be a free kick for Wimbledon. Sasu and Maycock are waiting. They're both in an offside position from the line. It's whipped in, towards the back, dealt with by Tete, and there is a flag for offsides. Ooh. And Akeem Adolphins does an own goal for Chelsea, and now they're up to nothing. And Luton may be making their way out. Chelsea, if they win, they will be taking on Leeds. Muniz was trying to get on the break. Ryan Sessegnon gets out to Zeppa. Zeppa cross towards Muniz. Muniz tried to. Why? Why did he try an overhead kick? You are not that good. You are not that good, Rodrigo Muniz. I'm glad that you got a goal, but you just no. That was a no. Yeah, Dom definitely did a good job defending, but no, no, that almost made me want to take you off right there. You are not that good to be trying something like that. Harrison Reed keeps it in. Wimbledon gets down on it, and now they're just gonna keep it back. Fulham again has weathered the first 5 minutes of this one. We're gonna see more long passes. Sasu trying to get to it, but it gets booted out, and it will be a throw in for Wimbledon. We now have a throw in. Wimbledon still just maintaining possession. Maycock, it's gonna be have a Wimbledon throw. Fulham players hands in the air. James Tilley with the throw. They really don't have a long ball specialist, so Harrison Reed and it goes out, and Fulham's gonna have to throw. And both again, neither of these teams have a win this year. But the thing with Wimbledon at least has got a point. Yes. And they are joking that Wigan is at the very bottom while Wimbledon is at 23rd. And I'll tell you what, we for the sake of all the Wimbledon fans that are here in the chat watching the stream, we won't talk about where MK Dons is in the table. Continuing on, we are approaching the 55th minute. I think you have to Fulham again. You can't let your foot off the gas. And also, one errant card will definitely ruin somebody's day. Seppa gets it to Tete, back to Seppa. Takes out to Charles. Charles, we really haven't been saying his name much. Reed, over to Kevin. Kevin trying to find his way into the box. Guarded well by Tilly. Reed. Maycock is trying to get over by the Foujois. Just took too long. That's what you gotta be afraid of. It's just a defensive error. Macaulay Zappa. It's Zeppa. I keep wanting to say Zappa, but it's Zeppa. I do see some people. I do see someone warming up on the side as well. Charles to Zeppa. Zeppa running running into the box, trying to get the cross to Muniz. Couldn't get it forward into the hands of Nathan Bishop. But that wasn't a bad attempt. So we're getting a look at Zeppa again. He plays for the U21s. He got a goal in the previous game against the under 21 Burnleys. Tete with the ball. Smith Rowe hasn't been much on the ball lately. DeFourgeois over to Harrison Reed. Harrison Reed has done a pretty good job as captain so far. Kevin loses the ball. Tilly on the run. Kevin being defensive. Kevin kicks it out, and it's going to be a throw. And they're talking about Albarola and his, working with the youth team at Madrid. And we do have youngsters here. Like Fulham does have one of the younger teams. Shot by Hippolyte, and it just sails. I think Lecomte would have covered it if it would have dropped a bit, but that is literally Wimbledon's first real attempt. I think it. I'm wondering if it got deflected. It did not. One thing that has been the case for the most part is the back line has been pretty supported by the midfielders. Kevin tried to get to Sessignon, and it's going to be a corner for Fulham. Given up by Yidown. A third one would probably seal the deal for Fulham right now. You can see that there are some people that are warming up. Reed. Good corner towards the back post. DeFourgeois tried to get to it. No whistle. Goes back to Lecomte. Lecomte's going to give it to Zeppa. Zeppa. It's going to be a throw. And there's another whistle. And I think it's going to be a foul. But Wimbledon will get possession. Oh, okay. The 5-second countdown. So Fulham took too long, and now it's reversed. So now it is a throw-in for Wimbledon. That's something to keep in mind for this season. They did try to the shorten play, keep fewer stoppages and time wasting. So this is the first time I've actually seen that happen. 5-second rule. Got a good throw to Tilly. They're onside. Tilly's gonna try to kick it and just get it out. Kick back towards Lecomte. There's Wimbledon is definitely trying to put a little bit more pressure on Fulham. And now they are going to try to kill a little bit of time. DeFourgeois coming up, kicks it back. Sorry, that wasn't DeFourgeois. That was Anderson. Back to DeFourgeois. Back to Charles. Kicking out back to Katie Tete to Zeppa. Zeppa back to Tete. Tete's going to kick back to Anderson. They're just going to kill a little bit of time here. Anderson's actually going to bring it up a little bit. To Fojois. Back to Harrison Reed. The Olay chance will probably start in a little bit. Charles is pointing like, bring up the ball, please. They're talking about the passes completed. Wimbledon 77, Fulham 437, which I'm pretty sure it's probably 445 now. And it's okay. I get it. You got kill some time passing. They can't do anything if you're not the one. Smith Rowe tried to go through for the needle. Not the case. Tete gets it back. Tete's going to get to Zeppa. Zeppa back to Tete. Back to Zeppa. Zeppa's running into the box. Zeppa trying to take a shot. It's easily deflected. And it's going to be a throw in for Fulham with Charles. Joaquin Anderson's going to come off. And Bassey's is going to come on to kind of... Zeppa. Bishop has to make the save. I was getting ready to put the substitution in, but yeah, they were not going to. Wimbledon still no substitutions yet. Fulham has made 2. But I believe I'm hearing the Wimbledon fans in the background. And tried to make the charge there. Sasu, and it's going to be a foul. And the referee slips. Nope. They were going to try to play advantage, and the ref slips. No, they watered the pitch at halftime, but it's the 63rd minute. There is no excuse there. No, that's not the strength. It's just literally you want insurance, and Bassey is still your best player. Kevin, into the box. And Bishop's able to save that. Fulham's going to have a corner. Nathan Bishop has done pretty well for what it is worth. It may be 2-0, but this could definitely be more than that. Kevin probably should have passed it back, but again, everyone wants to be on that score sheet. Cross into the box. Tete back to Harrison Reed. Reed, another cross into the box. Header by Tete, and Tete just sends it right. It definitely is a lot, but still, Tete just able to get ahead on it, just couldn't angle it right. That would have been a really, really surprising goal there. It's been since November since Tete has scored. Muniz tried to get to it. Wimbledon Still trying to get back into this game. Hippolyte going for it. Was that nicely done? And Fujiwara does a good job. Fujiwara does get to the ball. He takes a little bit of a knock. He's going to get up. A little bit of a cramp. And because that happens, that means Fujiwara is going to have to get off the pitch. And it looks like Wimbledon's finally going to make some substitutions. And of course, there is a slight delay. And of course, we were expecting subs for Wimbledon, and it's just going to be attacking subs. The Fujiwara is still down. So there is a delay in play, which means there will actually be some stoppage time. Oh, wow, since under 12. Respect that. The Fujiwara, well, of course, we kind of knew that was going to happen. Zach Nelson comes in. Jaden Stockley's coming in for Aaron, which Aaron hadn't had a chance to really do anything, so I'm not surprised that they're making that one. Loco, Smith Rowe, Sefa, and he didn't aim for any of them. Back to Tete. Tete, the cross into the back. Back to Sessignon. It's why the goalkeeper wisely did not touch it. Chibizo Nwoko is coming in. For Luke DeForgeois. Hopefully, he's going to be fine for the next game. I would not mind him seeing him again off the bench. No, that is not the Fulham fans. I think that's funny that they're amazed that, like, hey, Fulham fans can be loud. Stranger things have happened, folks. Yes. And yes, they're showing a lot of Fulham fans in the crowd. They're very, very, you know, they don't stand. Except when stuff happens. Very polite. That's the one thing people sometimes think about us is that we're too polite, too posh, whatnot. Back to Charles. Charles, again, we really have not seen much. I think it's just the fact that Charles does play more of that defensive position. Kevin has it Onside, Kevin gets into the box, still maintaining possession. Kevin trying to find someone to get it to. Doesn't happen, but Kevin is able to regain possession. Harrison Reed. Back to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe to Zeppa. Zeppa inside to Tete. Back to Zeppa. Zeppa with the shot. Zeppa! Almost. I don't know if the keeper got to that, but that was still a good attempt by Zeppa. That may have been, I got to look at the replay because that was really, really close. Maybe not as close as I thought it was. He was going for that far corner. Keeper probably had it, but still a good effort. And good possession by Kevin. Kevin at least knowing to try to pick somebody out. Ain't that the truth? Excuse me. I'm not having my ASMR moment. Just wanted to have something to drink real quick. The other Sessignon with the shot. No, it was just too high. Sails across. But Wimbledon still being more aggressive now. Bassi having to kind of have that insurance as a defender. That's one of the reasons why they put him in there. Muniz not able to get to it, but there is a foul. And there will be, it looks like there will be a yellow ticket assigned. Nope. Muniz with a nice. Well, I mean, I'm actually okay with Muniz. Gonzalo Garcia is coming in. And Palacios. Both of them are going to come in. And I can understand this. This is one of those things, getting people some reps, getting some confidence, as well as just let's finish this off. I mean, it's definitely some strength, and with that, Fulham has used all 5 of their subs. And okay, and that's another point that should be made is yes, for those who are watching, this does give you a chance. Like, okay, that game against Chelsea wasn't a fluke. Let's see what these other two. Let's see what they can do. And with all those, I just gotta say, what should we expect moving forward? Tete is gonna kick it back. Having Bassi and Tete back or not isn't a bad thing. Just a little bit of that insurance, a little bit of we're preventing that Fulhamish from happening. Charles Garcia gets to it. Smith Rowe tries to shoot. It is easily dealt with. Great dive. Sessignon, cross. No handball. Reed trying to get it out. No go. They're saying that may have been a handball, but of course, there was no VAR. We don't know if that was or not. Probably the next stoppage, we'll get to see a replay. Seppa, and now again, a little slowing it down a little bit more. Still, and Sessignon with it, cross was supposed to be for Smith. Tete shoots, and it sails to the left. Kenny Tete wants it. He wants it. It's not going to happen right now. But this has been a great performance. Zeppa couldn't get to it that much. Tete has a couple, but it's very clear that was a nice reverse error, but Palacos, Palacios, sorry, and oh, wow, that's a handball. That is definitely a penalty, but no VAR. This is like I literally had here. Don't count on VAR, and this is literally one of those things where, yeah, I think you still have. Yes, the fans will talk about this, but it's okay. It's like we'll definitely get talked about it if no. I'm oh, I mean, yes. If it was if it worked, if VAR was available, it would have worked in that one. That would have been very very clean for people to tell. Seppa trying to get him in, try to get Palacios. It's kicked out. Nelson back to Charles. To Smith Rowe, Harrison Reed, Calvin Bassey. Back back to Zeppa. Tete. Calvin Bassey. Ryan Sessignon getting back to Harrison Reed. Some people want him to shoot. Into Smith Rowe. Back to Blas Gonzalez. He good passing, but this is where but this is that finishing. This is where we have to. I don't care how pretty if the finishing isn't there, but it is good to just see some confidence. Like, okay, we're shooting. It's getting close, but you need that quickness. It has to be there, and that's something that you're gonna see more of. Hopefully, from these two youngsters versus when Muniz is on the pitch. But this is gonna be a corner. Nicely done. Stopped. Reed gets back to Reed. Reed another cross into the box. Nice punch by Bishop. Goes back to Zeppa. Zeppa tries. Mm, Charles. And now it looks like the final two substitutions. Junior Nikang is going to come on for James Tilley. No, sip along. Okay. Tries to get in the box. Hackford. Okay. Nope. Still not cleared out quite yet. And Fulham still keeping possession. Palacios. And now we're starting to get to see the Ole chance. Back to Reed. Back to Bassi. And a whistle. And it's going to be a yellow card. Zach Nilsson and Harrison Reed. Let's see what this is. So, yeah, just a push by Zach Nelson on Harrison Reed. A little bit of frustration. A boot straight to the keeper. That was also kind of a almost like a mercy kick. And Charles gonna be through Zeppa. We're gonna. I mean, if you're Fulham, I think you still want one more to send the crowd happy. Because of course, if Wimbledon, I mean, this crowd is gonna get. Those Wimbledon fans are going to get very loud if they're able to get one back. Now, Luton and Chelsea, that game is over. Chelsea will move on to nothing. Goal by Danny Welbeck and an own goal by Luton will give Chelsea their match against Leeds. Harrison Reed to Ryan Sessegnon. Reed, Garcia, Palacios in the middle. Tried to do a spin. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Not claiming any type of special spinning or anything. I'm glad that this is one of those where you're glad to be confident, but two things you don't want: no injuries. Yeah, and I think if you're Wimbledon, you may want to look at this performance and be like, is that you? I think if you keep this like defensive set, and I think you give Nathan Bishop another chance starting for your keeper. I think he made some really good saves this evening. I mean, and they're trying to do the moral victory thing, but it is offsides. And Fulham, again, not trying to just. I think you just need to go ahead and get it done. Finish your plate, no crumbs. Nope. Why do I keep saying that? Just don't. Ball smashed out, and Wimbledon is going to make their final substitution. Yes, we. I think they said. I think that was Ollie Harrison going out. Yes, Ollie Harrison. But yes, Delano McCoy Splat comes in. No, I know what they're singing because he was on the Fulham under. Because the Coy Splat was on the Fulham U21s up until June of 2025, and then went to Wimbledon on a free transfer. So it's nice to actually see him. He got 5 goals at his time on 21s, and then 6 goals when he was with the U18s. He's only had 1 cap for Jamaica, but still, it's. I mean, it is kind of a nice little last minute thing. Like, okay, come in, play at the cottage. Let's see what happens. It's a trip. They're gonna put a foul, and it's gonna be a free kick for Wimbledon. Quick foul, and now we're good. And that's the thing. Now the story of this game is the 2-0, but also what's the Fougerolles? Is there like a Canadian curse happening now? We know what happened to them in the World Cup. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm sure plenty of people have seen that video. I think you give Kenny Tete man of the match so far. Zeppa, Zeppa deflected. Why do I keep saying that? It's Nwoko. I keep wanting to say Zeppa. I'm sorry. Zeppa's 35. Nwoko is 34. Commentating is preseason. Well, not preseason, but early season as well. It was Sessegnon great. Ryan Sessegnon great pass into Palacios, but Palacios just wasn't ready for it. And I think that goes off of Charles. Celebratory drink. Garcia, can he make something happen? Great defensive. Get him. Great defensive. And taken out of the way by Smith Rowe. And defensive break, shot. And just like that, that's the stuff that why, as a Fulham fan, that's where you gotta take that's why you gotta take your breaths. You take your breaths there. We're looking at the indicator board. And it will be 5 minutes of stoppage on this. It's just a boot, nothing there. Okay, they're still trying to make something happen. 30 for 30, 30 for 30, and Ryan Sessegnon kicks it out for a corner. And can you? I mean, that's the thing. Sessegnon is marks him the entire time, and then Sessegnon gives up the corner. And that's the thing. Wimbledon has not really had lots of chance. Corner, nice. Yeah, Yidam, Yidam just doing a great job on the ball. Goes down, no penalty. And this time, I know it's Seppa. And Garcia, he's just waving like, why? Why didn't you pass me the ball? And this is, and again, this is one of those things where it could be and a foul by Nwoko. Shot! Stockley shot. And Lacombe gets it, but come on! I mean, yes, straight down the throat, but my point is exactly that. Don't get cocky, don't get saved, no foul. No, it is not. The King, had to get past get past the ref, and this time, okay, Nicole, take two. Sorry, Zeppa, now to Gonzo. Garcia shoots, and Garcia sends the crowd home happy. No, do not call it the Real deal. You people, that was some patience there. Nwoko gives it up. Zeppa gets it to him this time. Garcia beats the keeper. Bishop comes out. That's not the wrong move for Bishop to come out. He just misses the slide. There's a reason of why. I mean, Zeppa has to take from the we'll learn from this is that's why he's in the starting lineup and you are not. But hopefully Zeppa will take something from that. And he wanted another one. Very much so. Junior, Bassi, there for the insurance. Palacios, Moko, Palacios, Seppa, Seppa. Well saved. Whistle goes. No, the whistle has not gone. Tessa, I don't think Tessa was really trying. Even though Nwoko gets to it, this game is over. And finally, Fulham finally gets a win. Three. We didn't get 3 points, but we did get 3 goals. Emil Smith Rowe, Rodrigo Moniz, and finally, Garcia. The Fulham fans are happy, and now we have a final. Much needed 3-0. AFC Wimbledon, great job. No, no shame. They played hard, and they definitely had some opportunities. It may be 3-0, but this was not an easy game. And as you heard me, there was some scary moments towards the end. I don't like saying that, but there were. There definitely were some scary moments towards the end there. And with that said, we are going to call it, but we will be back. We'll be back Sunday, 9 a.m. Fulham away at Sunderland. And someone's trying to rip Katie Tete's shirt. Yes. Thanks for everyone who's joined me. It's just good to see, the crowd who did come out for this game. You got to see a pretty good game for AFC Wimbledon. I think you're happy with how your team performed, considering all things. And I definitely wish them the best of luck in League One. I think they said you guys got Wigan next. A much, much needed win. 3-0 Fulham. We really needed that one. Hopefully we can take this momentum, because one thing that Fulham definitely needs to be able to do is win away and put pressure. Like, this is definitely one of the younger Fulham teams that I've seen in my 20 years of following Fulham. So it's nice to feel somewhat encouraged to say, hey, this was 3 goals and a cup match. We didn't have to worry about penalties. No worrying about penalties. And that part's important. Calvin Bassey with his Calvin Kleins just applauding, giving up the crowd, everyone going towards the side. And it just feels good. And yes, the game was definitely tricky. They got the job done. That's all that counts. We had 13 viewers. I want to thank you for this. 803 views for a cup match. I have no complaints there. 3-0 win. Chelsea's going to move on in their match. They're going to take on. Zeppa does look promising. He had that one mistake, but I do like him. I felt he had good pace on the ball. And I think his confidence is going to just become a lot more, distinct over time. It was definitely, get to see 3 academy players. Nwoko, I think, is okay. Zeppa had an 8. They're giving FotMob is giving him an 8.1 rating, which is very good for the highest of the subs. Even though Garcia got a goal in the 75th minute, not 73rd minute. Zeppa, because Zeppa basically played the entire second half. He gets an assist. Man of the match, of course, is Kenny Tete. No surprise there. 1 assist. Muniz, 8.1. 1 goal. Smith Rowe, 8-4, 1 goal. Ryan Sessegnon, 8-0, 1 assist. No one okay. I want to stop. I want to stop trashing this guy, but I cannot. 6.4 rating. Oscar Bob. So not only does Zeppa look promising, I would give him the start over Oscar Bob based off of what I saw today. I know that at least he can go 45 minutes. So as far as a good first look, I could see Oscar Bob in that position. Smith Rowe was not bad, and he actually had some pretty good pace. I could keep that. DeFourgeois, unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to see him, which means, yeah, Kowenka is probably going to be in this. Probably going to be in the next game. I know there's some people ain't going to like to hear that, but you're probably going to see Kowenka again. So let's just get used to that. Anderson, it's good to have him back. Tete, I think will be starting next one. Actually, I would, if I could avoid Kowenka, I would put in Castagna. Because I think our back line, Sessegnon, Castagna, Reed, Tete, and I know he hates doing this, but I would put Anthony Robinson on the bench. I may actually put Anthony Robinson on the bench. Great watch. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for coming. This one was a blast. Compared to the Chelsea game, actually seeing a win, was very nice to see. It was very nice. Shea Charles, I still don't know what he's supposed to do. If he's doing that whole defensive midfielder position, okay, that's fine. I kind of get that. He came in. I think what was confusing in that last game is, in the Chelsea game, Shea Charles came in for Oscar Bob. So I know he's not an attacking midfielder. I'm thinking, okay, is he coming in to be an attacking midfielder? Clearly not. In this game, he was definitely a defensive midfielder. So I don't know how I feel about Shea Charles right now. I mean, in the Chelsea game, he was a 6.4. 6.4 rating. In this game, they put him 7.6. I mean, and if it's there to just control the ball, then okay. If he's there just to control the ball, okay. The only person who actually, outside of Oscar Bob, who had the lowest rating was Lecomte. And Lecomte, I think it's just that he didn't have to do much. There weren't really any errors on his part. And the defensive line, for the most part, backed him up pretty well. There were a couple errant passes, but luckily none of them got away. Harrison Reed, I don't know if he can come in for Sanderberg. He's probably still going to be the person you want off the bench. But I think as a captain, I don't think it's a bad pick. The captain of your team is still going to be Calvin Bassey. I think right now your captain is Calvin Bassey. But this was a great, kind of a good game just to get back into the swing of things. We got to see all the academy players got to come out for this. Except Bradley Slade. That's the only person we didn't see. And, depending on, what happens, because he did well in the U21 game against Burnley as well. You're not expecting him to score goals, but we may, because of what happened to Defoe, this may be, you may see him sooner than later as a defender, because that's the only one who did not really come out to this one. So the Sunderland game is going to probably be a good indicator of what should we expect for the rest of the season. Because Sunderland did really well last year, and I don't think anyone was expecting them to do as well as they did. So that should be something that we're looking forward to. I want to appreciate everyone again in the chat, watching, listening. The Sunderland game, again, that will be Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern time from where I'm at. I'm in like the New York Eastern time zone. But as always, wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good night. A great win for Fulham. Let's keep going up.